Hello, hello. I'm not sure who's on. Hey guys, give us a
Hey,
second.
hey.
Okay, so we will have people from YouTube and Facebook both streaming live. So as they get their questions and comments in, if it's something for you to tackle, I will go ahead and put it on the screen.
Okay.
So we just gonna go with the flow. We start off the normal questions I have as they comment. I'll push my questions to the side and go ahead and dive into theirs.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So those who are watching and that will be watching, we are talking about finding yourself in a relationship. Something that she lit up, something that is not really heard of, or it's heard of, but it's not really encouraged. But I'm the type of person where I like thinking out the box, stepping out the box, really tapping into reality and not really going with the status quo or what society says. So I like touching all scenarios and situations across the globe. So I haven't been live in a minute, guys. I've been so busy with so many things. I need to get back on it because it's so many of you guys that I want to hear your views on different things. So I do need to start back advertising. Those who are on now, who will be on, if you ever want to be a guest on my platform, please, please, please inbox me because I am currently looking for male and female guests, people who are real, people who are transparent, nobody who's coming on here to be so professional or holier than thou. This ain't the platform for that. We just ask that you be respectful, that's all. So we'll go ahead and get into our questions. And as you guys, those that have been on before, you know the routine. Those who haven't, ask your questions whenever you feel like it. Post your comments in the comment box. Both of our pages are in the caption. She has her own brand. She does a lot of motivational speaking and self-awareness and things like that. I love that as well. She has her own podcast. So please go follow her as well when you get time. Link is in the caption. And let's get started. So give our guests an introduction.
Hi, y'all. I couldn't wait to do this. I'm so excited. So, my name is Jer'Maine. I am a mother first. I'm a mother of three babies. I am the creator of Germination, as you can see in my background. I am currently building organically. I started this brand in April, so it's very new. It's my baby, literally.
Yep.
My brand is about transforming the negative mindsets from bad attitudes, from self sabotage, limiting beliefs, things of that nature to in my community, in my Black community, in the hood. I need for us to change our mindsets in the way that we think about a lot of things with ourselves first, because I learned that you are your biggest asset, and if you don't have you in check, then you can't really have a lot of other things in your life in check. So once you pour into yourself, you get to pour into other areas of your life. Um, so germination, growing. I know pretty much a lot of people know what the term germination stands for. My name actually is Germany, starts with a J-E-R. So I put my brand together with together as growing the mindsets, which is why you'll see the growing brains, boom, growing brains in the background.
There we go.
So that's a little bit about me. A motivational speaker. I've been inspired to be a motivational speaker since I actually have been a kid. So this is also, it's a new journey, but it's a journey that I've always wanted to be on, and I love the fact that I am starting to be on it now, and I'm starting to be on different platforms such as yours, Brandy, where I can, help to motivate and inspire other people, and even in relationships, because like what we're talking about today, finding yourself in relationships, that ties into mindset too. So I'm so happy to be here. Thank you all for being here. Share this.
Yes,
we're
share the
gonna be
live,
having, we're
guys.
gonna be having a good talk today. So yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, share the live, tag some people in, guys. I love we are actually going to be planning an event, a relationship event. I'm hoping COVID does not hit us, or they don't hit us with a shutdown soon, because we will have an in-person relationship event that we're putting together for you guys. I love her brand because those of you that's been following me, you know I'm about accountability. Like, I'm probably more on the harsher side of it, but I am who I am, and
Take it
those
up.
who ready to change, they gonna roll with it or whatever. But I love her brand with the self-awareness, because you can't even be accountable if you're not aware of self and
Mhm.
your issues, or where you went wrong, or where you need to get better, or even where you are good at, so where you can give off those strengths to friendships, intimate relationships, being a parent, all of that. So yeah, I'm glad to have tag team with her, and let's go ahead and get into her some more. So, Jer'Maine, what made you choose this topic?
Cool. Uh, what made me choose this topic? I chose this topic because I realized that even in my own relationships, the things that I wasn't aware of and the things that I didn't know about myself would kind of trickle along in other relationships in my life. So if I didn't know what I liked, then it's just like I couldn't really make a decision. So I also wanted to choose this topic because I realized that as I was diving more deep into my reflective journey, I realized how important it was to do the inner work before you actually start to not before you start to, but when you're in relationships, how you play a big part in relationships just as other people play a big part in relationships. So am going to be healed, or if I am saying if I want to be a good asset or a value to someone else in the relationship, my friends, my partner, my mama, anybody, I want to be able to know who I am and be able to voice my boundaries, or be able to say the things that I need to say. And that starts with finding yourself.
Right. Right. Guys, I can hear you very faintly. Guys, can you hear both of us kind of okay? I just want to make sure it's not my speaker. I tried to turn up my laptop a little bit more. Let us know if you guys can hear us pretty good or not.
I put these headphones on.
Okay, because like I could hear you, but it's kind of faint, and I don't. My ear did just come on, but I don't know if that's the reason.
Let me move a little closer too.
Okay, okay, so it's just me, y'all. I'm the only slow
Okay.
one. Disregard.
Okay.
Okay, okay. So Germany, as I'm just gonna build like the
Okay.
questions I ask. They're kind of really general, so you can give as much or as little as you want. You're the guest. I just have questions as an outline, but you guide, the panel. You guide the information as you see fit as the expertise in this
Mm-hmm.
topic.
Okay.
Um, so describe what finding yourself may look like.
Um, Finding yourself, what it may look like. To me, it looks like doing the work, asking myself deep questions, asking myself hard questions, the questions that I actually might not want to face. Um, Finding myself might look like being alone sometimes, taking walks. Um, it looks like seeking out challenges. And that's a thing that I actually have been really big on, challenging myself and
Mhm.
challenging my own perspective about the things that I have, first of all, grown up with, unlearning things that I've learned as a child, and learning how to navigate being an adult, getting away from the immaturity that I went through as a teenager, even as a young adult. And so what that looks more onto what that looks like journaling. And I talk about journaling a lot in my brand because journaling is actually something that I have been doing since a teenager.
Mhm.
About 15 years old, I have been journaling, and I actually think that is one of the main reasons why I can be I'm so expressive with myself, or and with other people. So that's, to me, that's what finding yourself looks like. But mainly, y'all, asking yourself the deep questions,
Yeah.
those questions that you don't want to ask yourself. And I think it's better for you to ask yourself those questions, because sometimes it's like when someone else asks you those questions, you kind of put a wall up, or you could even be triggered, or it just might not be something that you want to be open about. So I think in solitude, in time by yourself, where in whatever you like to do, pray, meditate, quiet time, ask yourself those deep questions. And even if no answer comes up, it's still a good it's still good to ask the questions, to be there, to be like in your mind, or just to be put out there, so that way, like, the answers come to you through the universe or just through other people. So finding myself, cool, that's what it looks like to me. And then even the term finding yourself, I I heard a lot about people saying, like, you can't find yourself because you already found, like, you already you, blah 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 blah. It's like, what's finding yourself? You are you. I don't have a actual, like, I don't care about the term finding yourself, because I think that it's really general.
Mhm.
If I don't know, how will I know? Like, if I don't know who I am, I think finding yourself is an appropriate term, because I don't know. So finding yourself, boundaries. I don't know my boundaries, so I have to figure it out. I have to find out what my boundaries are. I don't know what I like and don't like unless I find out. So I like the term, or I don't mind the term finding yourself.
Yes. I'm glad you said that because this is not on my agenda, but I'm glad you said that because I was dealing with I made a post the other day and I can't quote it verbatim. But I think I said something like, do y'all women really feel that you shouldn't teach a man how to love you or something like that? And when you say though, when you say you don't care about the verbiage, the wording of it, you know what it means when you're saying finding yourself. That's kind of how I looked at that post when it came to teaching.
Huh.
And I said, I just like to see people's understanding. So I post, a lot of different questions.
Mm-hmm.
But as I was breaking down, I ended up talking to two other people outside of the post, and we were breaking it down. And I said, so many people are caught up on the term, I'm not teaching him how to love me. I would show him this, I would show him that. So I was talking to two other people, and I said, break down teaching. Go look up the definition. Ain't teaching is showing.
Yeah. Mm.
Teaching is showing, ain't it? So
Yep.
why are we so caught up on I'm not teaching no man how to love me? I show him how to love me. You just said the same thing. So I feel
Yeah.
like I'm gonna go back to what you used a little bit while ago. Unlearning. We need to unlearn certain things
Mm-hmm.
because we have learned so many. I don't even want to say toxic, but help me out, Germany. We have so many bad things to where
Undesirable.
yes, undesirable things to where we'll see a word and we click off. We click off and go into flight. What is it? Fight or flight mode. We go into fight,
Uh-huh.
fight automatically. I ain't teaching no man how to love me. I'll show him. You know, it's ain't teaching and showing the same thing. I mean, somebody show me a different definition.
And actually, when you
I
say
mean,
that,
maybe
teaching
teaching
is
ain't showing. I
showing.
don't know. I might be slow.
But it makes no sense to say teaching isn't showing, because isn't that what a teacher is doing when they're standing at the board? Aren't
Big
they
fact.
showing you, like, or aren't they? And I learned that everybody is a different type of learner. I am a kinesthetic learner. I learn by, like, doing things, or somebody has to show me things. So yes, I'm down. You have to show somebody how to treat you. Like, you have to. So
Yes,
teaching is showing. I agree.
yes, yes. I love. So Charity said you have to teach a person how to love you. It's the process of learning each other.
Yep.
Big facts. It's the process of learning each other. Okay, so if you don't like the word teach, scratch it out and put show then. Like whatever
Yep.
it is, don't miss the message because you hate the word. You know what I mean? Like it's
Boom. That was powerful. Yes,
so
girl.
don't miss the message because you hate the word. And that goes back to when I say find we talking about finding ourselves, guys, in the relationship. Yes, because we're told to find ourselves before the relationship, but that's not everybody's story. You know, some people like Germany find themselves in the relationship, and I'm telling you, the relationship gonna show you that you're not gonna argue with me that teach don't mean show. You know what I mean? You're not gonna argue the smallest, dumbest things in a relationship when you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
unlearn those habits, unlearn those
Yep.
wordings. I'm gonna go back to what we talked about at our meeting. Triggers. My triggers is not your responsibility. If I say, you got to teach a man how to love you, and you're triggered and you're mad and you're angry about that, you need to go find yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go heal. Because me saying teach was not an attack to you at all.
Mm-hmm.
I was just teaching, quote unquote, showing, you know what I mean, something to you guys. So when you're always on defense mode or always in the offense mode or always in trigger mode, you're gonna miss the whole message and the whole
Yep.
blessing all over one small incident.
Exactly.
And that's what
And
happens in
that's one of the
relationships.
things I had to learn. I was just going to say something about that, like in relationships, when it comes to communicating effectively, that was actually one of the things that I had to learn how to do, because like I said about unlearning, I had to unlearn to not communicate, if that makes any sense, because I would
Ooh,
sweep things under the rug. I actually kind of came from a background of not really talking about the things like that we should talk about as a family, or the things that really bother us, because they are difficult. Like we can't bypass the things that are difficult to face, even for our parents growing up. So that part of me wasn't nurtured, so I didn't really know how to communicate that well. And I think too that played a part in one of my previous relationships downfall, not knowing how to communicate effectively. And not only that, but going through so much of my life not knowing how to communicate effectively, because now I have children and I have to teach them how to communicate effectively. And so it was like, dang, I can't even communicate my feelings. I can't even communicate what I don't like. And guess what happens when you can't communicate what you don't like? I ended up turning into a people pleaser, because now, boom, everybody like is has everybody has their thing, and then I'm trying to cater to everybody else's because I can't communicate what I need, and then I got to go home later and feel a certain type of way. Even in my relationship, if I can communicate to him like, hey, like that, I don't really like that, that makes me feel
yeah.
bad, like that makes me get butterflies, that makes me feel this way. Now
Mhm.
we can both talk about that, and we can say, he can tell me, he can chime in and tell me what he feel about that. But I feel like as a boundary is my safe zone. If you cross this line, that's when you're entering into like the dangerous part. Like, oh, now you're attacking me because I drew the line right here. This is my boundary. I don't like when this is done. And I think that in relationships, that is such a big thing. And we hear boundaries all the time, and how it's so
We need them.
important to put them in place. But learning how to communicate effectively, it includes being able to communicate your boundaries. That's so easier said than done. And when we talk about finding yourself, that is one of the things to find about yourself. What
Yeah.
is it that trigger you? Like what you said. How can you know what triggers you if you're not literally being self-aware of what's triggering you?
Yeah.
You know, our minds are so powerful, for one. And I'm starting to learn that you have two things going on in your mind. You got somebody that is talking to you in your head, and you got somebody that's listening to you in your head.
Oh.
So it's like, am I going to be the person that is going to listen to the things that's happening around me and listening to how they affect me? If he says something that triggers me from a past relationship, I have to be able to be so self-aware that I'm like, oh, that just made me feel like I finna. Can we cuss?
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Oh, okay. I feel like I'm finna, I'm finna go off. I'm finna really get defensive and start cussing and shit. I'm finna be, fighting them because you just literally ticked me off. And because you ticked me off, we got a fucking problem. Like, we got an issue. And that's not right, because he didn't do anything. He triggered me. He was the person that the trigger came from, but he didn't do anything to attack me. I got defensive because that was something that I didn't feel healed through, and I didn't know. Now, people go through all of that and don't even know that they even being triggered, or they're being upset, or they get mad because of the word or whatever something seems like. And the self-awareness part is being able to stop before you react. This is what I'm practicing. Before I react, I give myself a couple seconds. I'll be like, okay, 1, 2, 3. Like, you kind of got to count down a little bit before I react, because I have to be able to, figure out what type of response I'm gonna give, because it's like, oh shit, I just got triggered. And I know when I get triggered now.
Yeah.
And I'll tell myself, oh shit, I just got triggered. How am I finna respond? I try to respond as general as possible. Yeah. Like, I try my best not to give a triggered response, because it's not, you learn through the process. It's not like, oh, you get triggered, you find out you triggered, and then you're healed, or you get it right. It's not like that. You have to literally keep doing it repetitiously to like get through it and get better at it. And then eventually you'll be like, I didn't get triggered by that same thing.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go back to a couple of comments before I move on. But I like the fact, me, like what I've been posting lately: triggers, go heal, boundaries. I don't know if I posted too much about boundaries, but those 3, 4, accountability. That's all I've been posting about lately, because, and I want people to understand this: your triggers is not my responsibility. I get it. I understand that's your place of hurt. But then also too, you have to communicate that to me. You got to communicate that to me in friendships, in regular relationships, intimate relationships. You got to communicate that, because a lot of times we don't know what each other's triggers are. But even if you've told your partner or friend or whoever what your triggers is, at the end of the day, it's still your responsibility to heal from them.
Yep.
Because if you don't, it'll always be something coming in to push that trigger button. Like that big and red. Let me see what that look like. Somebody gonna always be pushing it because you also got people who want attention, and they might want attention from the wrong way. They might want attention through arguments. So guess what? I need to argue with somebody today to feel good. Oh, her trigger button lighting up. Boom, let me go push it. You know what I'm saying? So you have to heal from that. Yep. Let me go back to so I got Charity's comment. So earlier you said boundaries, and it's crazy because she had already commented that, and she said you also have to teach your partner and establish boundaries. I established early on, I don't care how mad you get at me, never call me out my name. Yes, that's a no for me. I will leave. It's not cute. Some women like it, but it's not cute. Some dudes even like it. I don't know why, but it's not cute. Show them early on, establish respect for sure. And then Cozy said, and this was before you even spoke on boundaries. He said, and this was going back to if I remember right, it's going back to the teaching part we was talking about, teaching versus, / showing. He said, but then when you argue, it's you don't know how to love me, and learning someone. I'm sorry, I read too fast. You don't know how to love me, and learning someone love language is big now. We show people our love language to understand how to love us. Exactly.
Yep.
I think on that post, it was people coming on there like, he should already know, or nah, he better come knowing me, or he better learn me or research and, figure me out. So here's the thing with that. I don't agree with that, because a man could come in loving you exactly how he knows to love. Exactly. And it could be the wrong way, because that's not your love language.
Yep.
A man can come in learning you. And here's the thing, ladies, I'm sorry, but it's probably our hormones, but we flip-flop so much. So this person can come in loving you, and they see one part of you, so they're loving that part, and then that's at 8:00. Then by 12:30, you a whole different person. So now they loving the 8:00 you at 12:30, because they still loving the 8:00 you. So it's not he better know. He just better know. He just better read up on me or figure it out. No, it ain't no figuring out. Teach your man, quote unquote, for those who got triggered by teach, show your man how to love you And that's through communication.
Yep.
I have one more comment I'm gonna put on the screen, and then I'm gonna go to the question I have. So guys, share the live, give us some thumbs up, hearts. Her brand, for those that missed her in the beginning, her brand is in the caption. She does a lot of motivational speaking, self-awareness, healing, accountability, all of that. Y'all know I rock with people like that, especially in the Black community, because we have a lot of things we got to get together. And it's going to take more of us reaching out, being healed, obviously, but reaching out and speaking up so we all can get the help. So don't forget to go follow her. And I am looking for guest panels, y'all. Guests for my panels, y'all hit me up so I can have y'all as a guest. Even if y'all coming back for a second and third time, we got so much to talk about. Let's go.
And don't forget to hit her up for your shirt, your I Am Gold shirt.
Oh yeah, she got my Black Lives Matters I Am Gold shirt on. Let me go to, so Bernard said you have to learn anything that's unfamiliar. No two people are alike, no two relationships are alike. In a relationship, you are learning each other every day. Every day. Be teachable. You ain't always right. It's the teachable part, Bernard.
Yeah, the teachable.
People don't like the word teaching though, Bernard. You gotta remember that. They don't like the word teaching, but it's the teachable part for me. It's definitely the teachable part for me. Charity say, tell them argue with your mammy.
Oh my God. Argue with your mammy, not me. I haven't made it.
Argue with your mammy, not me. Okay, I said I was gonna go to my question, but I'm scrolling. I didn't see all these comments down here. So Cece said, so true, triggers are not my responsibility. Yes. And the thing is, life is stressful enough. You cannot take on other people's issues all the time or 24/7. If you have the strength to do it, do so. But their triggers is not your responsibility. You have triggers of your own that you gotta go and try to heal from.
I got a question though, because like when we're in a relationship, right, and sometimes things trigger both of us, right? And I'm starting to realize that some of the things that I might be saying, since I'm on this journey, what if some of the things that I might be saying to trigger someone, I literally notice that they got triggered, and I sit back and I be like, what I did just triggered you, but you don't know you just got triggered. So I'm a back in a relationship that you're showing love and you supportive and you doing all this. So it's like, yeah, it's not my responsibility and I'm not making it my responsibility. But in the relationships of the people that I love, I'm like, okay, that just triggered you, and then maybe I should step back or step away from whatever that conversation is and maybe go somewhere else and then maybe come back to it later because they are triggered in the moment. Like, what do you think about that?
So as a and guys that are on, help me out, correct me, and whatever you want to say. But so what I would say to that is, and this is as it relates to a relationship. I'm not talking about just some random people or some social media people, because I'm gonna go hard behind your triggers ain't my responsibility. But as it pertains to a relationship, I would say to that, it's still not your responsibility to heal that in them. But I would say that's your obligation to recognize it.
Right.
Take a note of that. Make sure you saw what you saw and you heard what you heard, but don't speak on it at that moment.
Yeah.
See if it happens again, and then once that's your confirmation, like, you know what, yeah, it happened again, so I triggered you. Again, don't speak on it in the moment of the heated discussion. But at a later time when you guys are on your lows, your peaceful, calm stage, I would definitely bring that up and just say, hey babe, I noticed, this happened when I said this, it kind of bothered you. It happened twice, happened 3 times, whatever the case. And I would bring it up and just kind of open the door for discussion. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think that's your trick, or do you think you was bothered by it? And don't be like, just kind of open it up for a questioning. And don't, well, I saw you doing this, that, and other. I know you was triggered. You can't tell me one. I know
create
you was.
More of a safe space, because they already triggered, so create a safe space to where it's more of you're curious about it. And I would say, like what they was talking about earlier, being teachable, taking it as a moment to be like, oh, I don't it's not something that I want to trigger in you, but it's something that I do want to make you aware of, like just in case you're not aware of it, you
Yeah.
know, that happened.
Because
And it
sometimes
might
we
help them
not.
not be so defensive.
Yeah. Sometimes we're so used to a certain way of acting or being, living, that we don't know that something is there. It's our
Yeah,
normal. It's
yeah,
normal to us until somebody pointed out.
yeah.
And Church, she's like, when I tell you, it's not too many people who can call me out and like see what it is versus saying like, oh, she's just weird. Like Charity really understood me, and she would call out stuff, and it's crazy because it wasn't super new when she called it out, but it was one of those things where God had already been dealing with me on it, and I wasn't ready to face it. So
Mm.
then, and she be so gentle in her approach too with it, and it'd be like it's like a motherly figure. It was
Yeah.
real gentle. It wasn't judgment or anything like that. So when she called it out, I was able to step back like, ah, dang, like, yeah, that is a trigger of mine. I got to work on that.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm trying to be in a relationship, this gonna really hurt his feelings if I keep responding like this. And I didn't even realize it was an issue until a friend, pointed it out. Cozy said, yep. He said that's just being aware and considerate of that trigger. So yeah, that's a good one. It's still not your responsibility to heal the triggers, but definitely be considerate.
Yeah.
Make it your obligation to be considerate and aware.
Right.
Yep. Thank you, Cozy. I agree with that. Yep. Oh yeah, Charity. I've been one all day. They be playing. Okay, guys, get your questions in, comments in. Again, don't forget to share the live. We're gonna move on to the questions that I had for her. Okay, so why do you think we are told to find ourselves before getting in a relationship?
We are told to find ourselves, I think, before we get into a relationship, because like one of the main things that we hear all the time, you can't love somebody if you don't love yourself. Like that is one of the main, I think, ideas that this question revolves around. You can't love nobody unless you love yourself first, and you need to know who you are first before you can get in a relationship. Because of course, like what we're talking about, you got to be able to teach somebody how to love you. You got to be able to communicate your boundaries. You got to be able to do all of these things. So you got to find yourself, learn those things before you teach somebody those things. So that's why
Yeah.
I think that we're told that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and ultimately I would agree with it. Yes. But in today's society, you got people not waiting. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be alone. People don't like feeling lonely. So yeah, people are jumping, from person to person. And so that's what I feel like we need to tackle instead of, well,
Mm.
you need to just not do it. Okay, yeah, maybe they shouldn't, but because we have people that's doing it, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's show, let's show how to do it then, since this is what
Yeah,
majority people are doing versus,
that's true.
bashing somebody for doing it. You know what I'm saying? Um, so Cozy said if triggered is used lightly, it can force an issue. People cannot like what you said, how you said it, and your tone, and that's not a trigger. Ooh, look, hey, Cozy, write that on your stat, and when I get out of here, I'm gonna share that. That's good. Vernette said if you let me put on that comment. And let me finish reading Cozy. I'm sorry, I cut your comment off short. It will have similarities in the reaction, but it's more so a respect thing. Trigger is the elevated trauma type thing. Yeah, yeah. But most times, I mean, people be moving and typing posts in their elevated trauma. So it's like if you're gonna move and act in your elevated trauma, let's call it what it is. Red is red, blue is blue. We
Yeah.
know our colors.
Yep.
Burnett said, if you don't know who you are, how can you expect the person you're with to know who you are? So that's true. Um,
So I was listening to something earlier that
okay.
said something about if you don't know who you are, then okay. So what you say? How can you expect for a person to know who you are? I
Yes.
was listening to something earlier that said that basically, if you don't know who you are, it's like you pour so much of yourself into them to try to make them happy. And then you're giving them all of this, like you're doing all of this stuff to make them happy. You're not really doing anything to make you happy. and you're trying to cater to who they are and make their lives this like great life, and you're basically putting them on a pedestal, which wouldn't really be too much, I feel like, an issue if you was doing that stuff for yourself too. But sometimes, like in relationships, if you don't know who you are, I think it's easy to hide behind doing so much for your partner or the person that you're in a relationship with, because of the lack somewhere else, the lack in where the lack in knowing actually like who you are as a person.
Hmm. Yeah. It's so many variables to that. The situation, depending on who the two people are in the relationship, it's just everything is not a one for all.
Yeah.
Because I believe you will always forever be finding yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't necessarily like to tell people, you know who you are yet? I go get in a relationship. You don't know who you are yet? I don't get in a relationship. I don't necessarily like to put it like that, because you will always be forever changing and forever finding yourself. So when you're in a relationship, the goal is not for you to find out who your person is as far as purpose and all of that. The goal is to see if you're compatible. And guys, correct me if I'm wrong. But the goal is to see if you guys are compatible, so you can see if you are fit to even build life together. So, I don't think you need to be going in um, with the mindset that I need to find out who this person is, or, like, I don't
I get
know.
that.
You know what I mean?
I'm
Like, I'm
kind of,
trying
I'm
to,
kind of, mm-hmm.
I think if we try to, I think if we're trying to find out, like, it's hard for me to explain. I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to really say. If you don't know who you are, how can you expect the other person to know who you are? So
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to that, maybe I would say if you don't have any goals, or if you don't know where you're headed in life, as far as no, I don't want to be a bum, I don't want to stay with my parents all day, I don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck, like those type of things. I feel like if you don't know that part yet, then you definitely should not be in a relationship. But as it relates to, yes, I want a family, yes, I'm ready to be in a committed relationship, yes, I'm ready to be a protector, yes, I'm ready to be a wife or a husband, I think those things are good enough to be able to say, okay, yes, I'm possibly ready for a relationship.
Somebody that's ready to grow with you, because like what you said, like we're always growing, right?
Yeah.
So because of that, things is going to change. And I think that when you said compatibility, I think that almost relates to being adaptable in the things that we're doing. So I would adapt, like if I'm compatible with the person that I'm with after I learn this person, or after we learn each other together, and you're compatible, I think it is about adapting to the different behaviors and the different styles, love languages,
Yeah.
different personal lives. I mean, different individual
Mm-hmm.
individualism when it comes to being in a relationship. And like what you said, I was hearing broken. Like if a person gets into a relationship broken, I don't necessarily even know how much how beneficial it'll be, because it'll seem like it'll be a trauma bond, like
Yeah.
they're bonding with this person because of whatever it is that they haven't fully healed through. Because sometimes we attract what we haven't fully healed
Yeah.
through,
Yeah.
and or we go through the same shit all over and over. Like you'll pick the same type of partner over and over, and you be like, dang, why do I keep on getting these type of men? And I think
Yeah.
that's a good thing to like think about. Like I'm getting these type of men because it's something in me that I haven't healed through. But when it comes to like actually getting into a committed relationship, I do think that it's possible to not be fully healed, because especially if you're with someone that is level-headed, someone that is also choosing to go on one of them paths of self-reflecting and wanting to grow and wanting to get better. I feel like that's a good basis to start a relationship with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Something, and you can tell because you hear how they speak, you see their actions, and you can be like, okay, I can move forward in this relationship and we can work on this together. But even being in a committed relationship, that person can actually help in areas that you're not that well in. I can go back to earlier when I said communicating effectively. My current relationship, he helps me to communicate. I didn't know how to communicate that well coming in. Like I told you, my history. He can communicate very well. And he he always told me, I'm gonna take my time with you. And that type of statement there alone was like, I can be with you, because if you're gonna take your time with me, if you're gonna go through this with me and support me in this, and you know what I haven't healed through, or you know what I got going on, because you I tell you these things, and I show these things. But for someone to be patient, someone to be understanding, someone to support you, not give you the answers, not, try to heal through it for you, because I can't nobody go pee for me. I used to try to get my sisters to pee for me, but they can't pee for me. I didn't want to go to the bathroom because I was like, I'm tired. I don't want to go pee. Could you pee for me, Trey? That's my sister. Can you pee for me? But she can't. He can't heal for me. Those things are the things that I experienced. So when and get into a relationship, I think it's very possible to not be like fully there or
Yeah.
fully healed through something, because you can always do that. You literally, your relationship is an addition to, like, it's an add-on to your life. I don't think it's not your whole life. Like,
No.
you invest yourself in your relationship, of course, but this is an add-on. We are going through a journey together, but I'm also on a personal developing journey. I'm on a mastering self journey. I love to say that. Mastering self is something that I have been wanting to do since I was young. So he's on that journey with me, and hopefully something that I'm doing to master myself can help to influence him. And things that he do to master himself, he's on that same type of journey.
Right.
He can also teach me some things too, but I think it has to be there, and we have to have some understanding in that word communication. That is such a big deal, and we have to also be open in the communication, because it'd be some vulnerable moments that I'd be like, I just really kind of just don't want to talk about this, because I just don't feel comfortable. But I think that once I say something about it, and his response to my vulnerability was another sign that I was like, okay, we can move forward, because his response to my vulnerability was more nurturing
Yeah.
and caring and supportive, and not, at me, attacking me, saying that I'm a bad person, down degrading who I am, and saying you should have been did this already. You 30 years old. You should, like, he doesn't, that's not what I get, in a relationship where I'm still working on myself, finding myself.
And look, and that's crazy because that was my next question. What were some things that occurred that made you feel you was finding yourself while in a relationship with him? And you went into it already, so that's good. That's good. You gave some details on that. But so Bernice, the very last part he said that we're trying to make people become who they will never be. So I would say to that, as far as the getting in the relationship when you don't know who you are, if you're unhappy inside, depressed, whatever, nothing makes you happy, like everything makes you mad, I would definitely say you're not ready for a relationship.
Yeah.
Because you will go into that relationship making this person be your everything, and then when this imperfect human don't live up to your standards, now here's the beef, now here's the drama, now here's the issues, that the madness or whatever, because they're not who you tried to create them to be. So I can see
Mm-hmm.
it from that side of it. But so let's go to the next question, guys. Get your questions and comments in. We probably will be ending real soon. So ask her some questions, get some more comments
Real
in,
soon.
share the
Oh.
live. Yeah, we going on 45 minutes. I try to keep it to like 35 to 45 minutes. I know. I just try not to keep it real long, but I do have a few more questions, so we're not gonna close out before then.
Okay.
Um, so what transpires to where a person knows it's okay to not have it all together before getting in a relationship?
So basically, what happens to where a person know that it's not okay?
Yeah, like so kind of I guess back to what we were kind of saying. So like do you like what should happen to where a person should be like, you know what? I don't have it together 100%, but I'm well enough to where I can get, I can start dating or I can say, okay, let's be in a relationship.
I think the perspective, the perspective of knowing that, okay, I'm not perfect. I'm open to a different outlook. I'm open to a different perspective. I'm open to change. I think that might be when a person would know, okay, I can probably be in another relationship, or I can start dating. I'm open to change. I'm open to something else new without having to compromise who I am currently. Like, I'm still
Yeah.
going through this, but I'm open to a different reality, a different something different. Um, Not that I'm desperately seeking it, but more of, like I said earlier, about challenging myself. Like, I have, that's how I knew. I'm gonna challenge myself. I don't know how to communicate, but guess what? I'm finna challenge myself to communicate better. He challenged me. Y'all don't even know how bad he challenged me in communicating. And I mean, like, long text message threads. You know how we go through them long text message threads, like where you just going back and back. Long ones, long 3 hour, 5 hour talks to where you gotta really sort through some communication issues. I was willing. And because I feel like I was so willing to get better at that and to learn that and to just um, grow in that area, I was way more willing to listen to what he had to say
Yeah.
and to learn from him. I tell him all the time, I learn from you a lot. You know, I'm okay with my man being an inspiration to me and being somebody that I look up to. I have no issues with that because he has so many strengths that I look up to and
Yeah.
I listen to him. So I feel like that, you know, when it comes to dating, I think that that's one of them things that it's like, mm, are you willing to change? Are you willing to be open to something different? Are you ready to accept the challenge? Because as soon as you start dating, you're about to be challenged with learning so many different people
Hella
and
challenge.
communicating with so many different people.
So that's what I do believe that. So if you are, so we're not saying you got to be 100% perfect before you start dating or being in a relationship, but I do believe you have to be willing to be corrected. You got to
Mm,
be willing to take accountability
yep,
for where you are tripping at, where
yep,
you need help at, and
yep,
you got to be willing, especially if it's as a woman, you got to be willing to allow him to be the man.
yep,
If you're not ready for any of that as a woman, then it's best you probably just kind of stay, kind of stay single, kind of stay off the dating scene and work on being, a little bit more healed before
mm-hmm,
trying to date or be in a relationship.
yep,
Um, Cause you said hurt people can date. I think hurt people can date because depending on the hurt, the level
yep,
of hurt, and depending on the person you're dealing with, it's possible to be healed through that. You know what I'm saying?
yep,
So um Charlie, everything starts with everything goes through communication. So if you are going to if you are hurt though and you're going to a person act like I'm together, I ain't got no issues, you want to hang out with your guys, yeah, go hang out. And while he out, you sitting here texting somebody like, girl, I know he
mm,
just don't leave like that, but you said go out, you know what I'm
yep,
saying? So you can't be hurt and confused trying to date. If
yeah,
that makes sense. Like hurt and lying to yourself. Like you got to be some sort of type of heal when trying to
yeah.
get out there and date or get in a relationship.
You got to be honest with yourself, like you just said. You
Yeah.
can't lie to yourself and say, you know, you want something and you really don't, or you okay with something and you let your partner know you okay with something,
Yeah.
and boom, you not, and now you at home festering on all of this stuff. Like, I bet he did, and letting everybody know, yeah, I bet he out doing this and doing that because of some stuff that you went on somewhere else in your life, and
Mhm.
now this person is confused and like, wait a minute, I thought you said to go.
Yeah.
Like,
And you know what? That type of thing, that type of bipolar-ish behavior that people be thinking is cute. It goes back to Cozy's comment. He said you could be hurt but not broken. That's the thing. They ain't just hurt, they broken trying to
yeah.
date. They are broken trying to be in a relationship. When you're hurt, you're able to still keep a leveled, mature head
Uh-huh. Yup.
when you're upset. Broken people, when you hurt and broken, all things going to hell. You taking all things to hell, to the lowest part of hell, like you turn it up. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So Yeah, I think that is the difference. Cause you can be hurt and date, but hurt and broken, that's a automatic no go.
Yep.
So I do have a couple more questions, and then we will be closing out.
Okay.
So this one is, what would you say to the woman who is damaged but has gotten into a new relationship fast?
What would you say to a woman who is damaged but has gotten into a new relationship fast? I would say kind of like what I was saying earlier, to not to not hide behind, to not mask what it is that she's damaged in, and to not lie to herself and act like she's not damaged because she's in this new relationship, and to not put the new person that she's with into the spot that she was like the spot that she's damaged in. Like, don't put them in that spot, and now you can idolize this person, and now you can feel good about it because now, oh, I was damaged in that area, but now I'm not damaged because I got this new person. It don't, it don't work like that. That person does not come along to be a placeholder for the stuff that you haven't fully addressed yet. So I would just say to make sure that you continue to focus, even if when you get into a new relationship fast, because I can't say how fast or slow somebody should go.
Right.
But if you're
Right.
going to get into the relationship fast, and if you feel like that's something that you should do, because people when you don't know what it is you're damaged in, you kind of just be going, you just be moving like, oh, I can't be alone, like what you said. If you're gonna do that, just know that you need to focus more on your own stuff, and to not make that person your savior,
That's it.
your god,
Yep.
your all, because that is not finna happen.
Yep.
That is not gonna happen, and you're gonna be getting into another relationship real fast.
Yeah. I would say, to add on to that, I would say to women, you are dealing with another imperfect human. You got to give him room to make mistakes. And
Yes.
I'm not saying, certain mistakes, again, we have our boundaries. So I'm not saying if it's a boundary of yours and he crossed, and then especially multiple times, I'm not saying, oh, forgive him, it was a mistake. But I am saying some things are literally him also learning and growing in himself as well. So
Yes.
you got to give him room to make mistakes without
Yes.
feeling like, what I'm
Yes.
saying, he's my savior. Oh my God, he made a mistake. It's the end of the world. No, don't
Yep.
place him that high up on a
Yeah.
pedestal. He's still, human. So
Mhm.
that's what I would add to, the broken woman. And then based off your situation and your experience, what would you say to the man who decides to get with a woman that has just gotten out of a relationship?
What would I say to the man
Yeah.
that guy with a woman that just got out of a relationship?
Yes.
Who, based on my situation, uh, if it's something that you want to do, if it's something that you're willing to do, and it's something that if you see something in her that if you see something in her that you want to prosper, or you see that she's hurt, but you see that she's a good person, or you see that she's a person that's worth being in a relationship with, but you can tell she's hurt about some things. I would just say, that's if you're gonna do that, you got to take your time with her. you're gonna have to you're gonna have to be supportive. Women, we have a lot of emotions, and
Yeah.
we have so many emotions, and sometimes our emotions are triggered. Sometimes we go through emotions and it has something to do with our cycles, so it's like cycle emotions, and then regular life emotions, and then it's like all type of emotions in one bundle, it's like blah, blah, blah,
We so
a whole,
emotional.
yeah, it's like blah, 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 a whole bunch of stuff, like so I would just say, if you want to do that, take your time, be supportive, and to help. And I also want to add to not be so hard. To if you want to help with her in those areas to where she is hurt, and to kind of help her grow as a person, and to get out of that hurt, or to move on to the next level and help her heal and be supportive in the area, I would just say be more nurturing in that area. And I would say hone in on your feminine side as a man, and just really kind of, be more gentle in that area. Be gentle with her.
I'm glad you said that, because and it's a whole nother topic for a whole nother panel. But men do have a feminine side, not the feminine side that people like to bash on Facebook and social media about, but the feminine side of men is the more gentle side of them. So, I hate when females get that confused and use, oh, he acting like a female, or he acting female. And you misguiding society when you say that. Like, men are supposed to actually have a feminine side, not as much as us, but their feminine side is supposed to be the gentle side, because again, as women, we're so emotional. So as women, sometimes we have to be handled in a gentle manner. And of course, you want your man to know how to bring that feminine, gentle side of him out to nourish us. So I will also say too, again, and anybody that run across this later and that's on now, if you follow me now, I'm all about accountability. Women, we have to, especially getting into a relationship, trying to find ourselves, you have to control your emotions. And again, just like I said earlier, your triggers aren't my responsibility or his responsibility or whoever's responsibility. Your emotions also is not our responsibility. Exactly. You can't do the whole, well, I don't like this, that, and the other, so you shouldn't have done. Okay, yeah. You don't like this, that, and the other. So work on healing. Work on getting those emotions together and learning how to respond when you're mad and when you're hurt. I'm still working on it. I'm still working on my emotions because I'm small. So I feel like when you push that trigger button, you said trigger button, you push it, I feel like the whole demon side of me come out. And then I'll be ready to, hey, Tiara, I'll be ready to take you, me, and everybody else to the lowest part of hell. Like, that's how mad I get. I don't
want to go to the lowest parts of hell.
Man, when I'm mad, you hit that trigger, I don't even care at the moment. All I see is red, and we all going. But y'all going. But I know that about me, which is why I have been working, trying to read more. Like, we don't like to read. We scroll on social media all day, but we engage in most of the negative stuff. We'll see a positive stuff. We may or may not like it, but we scroll past fast. Like, get on there and comment, engage. Once you start to change your routines and your patterns, and you start focusing on, I need you on the panel, man. I need you on the panel. But and don't laugh at me. But I feel like we need to retrain our routines and our thoughts and our habits though too. So that's a lot of reasons why too we cannot find ourselves even before a relationship, because we're so comfortable in those old habits, those old negativities, those old what is it, the energy that you, the attention that you get from all the negativity. We so used to that part of attention. We don't want to see what's on the other side of that. We don't want to really see the happiness or the heal part or the positivity part.
Yeah. And I would say to that, like, the emotions help you to know how to respond. Like, if you feel sad about something, you will respond sad. That's your emotion. If you feel mad about something, you will respond mad, because that's the emotion. So emotions are definitely,
and it's okay though.
And she's not ever saying, I don't ever take you as saying to totally disregard your emotions. And I've told you that before. I don't believe in totally disregard your emotions. And I hear all the time, feelings aren't facts, but feelings are real. That stuff, you do feel things. And I think that you're supposed to listen to those things, because you have parts of yourself. We aren't just walking around logical people. What makes us humans and what makes us different from every other species, plant species, because I feel like animals got feelings. Some animals.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. But I feel like what sets us apart a lot of the times is our consciousness and us being able to feel things. So I'm a highly sensitive person. So I do go through my emotions a lot, but I use my emotions as my power, as my strength to heal, to get better. I don't use my emotions to invalidate or to make someone else feel bad or anything
Yes.
like that. I use my
Yes.
emotions and I bring people in to encourage them or to nurture them or to feel any type of, to do that type of stuff.
And
But if
see,
I'm mad about something, my emotions will tell me I'm mad. So I need to be aware, like, oh, flipping that book over just made me mad. Why did that make me mad? Okay,
and
that made me mad because,
and I want people, and yeah, and I'm glad you said that. No, I'm not telling you guys not to feel. We're human, we're women, we're emotional, we got all these hormones. I still feel. I told you before, when I feel like I'm triggered, I'm about to really snap out on somebody, I have to remember my brand. I have to remember, what am I shooting for? I have to remember how far I fought to get from some of them
yep,
trigger places. So guess what I got to do? I got to tune out of social media for a minute, because I
yep,
got to go feel. I got to go feel this emotion. I got to go feel
yep,
this anger. I got to go cry. I got to go scream. I
yep,
got to go, whatever I need to do, I need to go feel it. But the
yep.
thing is, I don't ever agree with you being so emotional to the point where you make it seem like it's okay to tear somebody down, especially if you're in a relationship, friendship, whatever. It's never okay to feel your emotions and take it out negatively on other people. Like, use it to, what you say, it's your power.
It's my strength. I
Like,
use it
it's
to.
yeah. Use it to find the good parts that you can use. Okay, I'm mad. Let me go journal this out, because I'm about to go
Yes,
smash some tires. Okay,
yes,
I'm mad. Let me go to the gym. Let me go
yes.
listen to a good podcast, an inspirational
Transform that
song.
energy into something that you can use.
And
Yes.
continually doing it, because that's how you get out of them old habits.
Yep.
Not, I'm mad, I'm finna do what I normally do. I'm finna write a post. I'm finna put everybody in my business. And then
Yep.
when somebody say something wrong, I'm finna snap and curse you out. And then I'm
Yep.
finna go live and make a post
And
about
it's
you.
a
Like,
downward spiral.
a downward spiral, because you bringing that energy back into you soaking it up. Like,
Yep.
okay, Tiara say skate, yes. Let me go skate. Let me take it out on the wood, on the concrete. Like, take that energy and put it somewhere else.
Yep.
Because when you're just deflecting it to that screen, it's reflecting right back to you.
Heck
It's
yes.
reflecting right back to you, and it's growing. You're gonna go to sleep. As soon as you wake up, it's gonna be right there, like, hey, good morning. You
Yep.
ready?
Yep.
What negativity we finna do today? Who we finna make
Yep.
mad today? You
Yep.
ready?
And the
Like,
more you feed, the more that grows inside of you. So if you keep on feeding that negative emotion, and it's gonna keep growing and growing and growing, and then you're not gonna even know how to get out of it. Now you gotta do all this deep reflective work because you didn't put yourself in this downward spiral.
yeah.
Yep.
She said our emotions can be used as weakness or as strength. Yes,
Yep.
ma'am. Yes. And,
Yep.
and, and the choice is yours. The
Yep. It
choice
is.
is yours. And I'm not saying like within a week or a month or even a year, you're gonna conquer all your emotions and you
Right.
just gonna be this perfect person. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, when you know your triggers, when you know you are still finding yourself and the issues you're having, start putting into place things that's going to get you into a positive mindset. Get out of
Mm-hmm.
those old habits. Meditation. Yes, Sierra, meditation, pray. Whatever it is that you feel brings strength back into you, do that.
And I want to add, because I'm a person that didn't know how to name my emotions. I was a person that,
Woo.
like, I feel stuff like, oh, I don't know what I'm feeling. I didn't know how to name my emotions. I go to therapy, but my previous therapist, she showed me something called an emotional wheel, and it's different levels of things. So if you're mad, sometimes you might not be mad. Sometimes you might be angry, or sometimes you
Woo.
might be frustrated. So you have to be able to name what it is. I'm working on this so much because being able to name your emotion, name your feeling, helps you to get more of an understanding of who you are.
It is so many.
Self-awareness.
I agree. I agree. This is all about finding yourself. You're gonna be finding yourself forever. You're gonna be
Yep.
finding yourself until the day you die, because you're always in different seasons of your life. So you're never
Yep.
gonna always have you figured out. But
Yep.
the goal is to try to perfect learning, yourself. Here's
Yep.
another thing. This is what I notice with people. People be saying they mad when you really jealous.
Yes.
You ain't mad, you just
Yeah.
jealous of something. And
Yes.
because you're so jealous of it, and you don't want to, nobody want to say they jealous of nobody. I ain't
Yes.
jealous of nobody. Nobody want to admit that they're jealous. So you steadily thinking on this jealous emotion to the point where now you done conjured up all kind of mad emotions when
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't even mad at first. You was just jealous. Just say
Mm-hmm.
what it is. I'm jealous. She got a man, I ain't got no man. All my men cheat on me. I'm jealous. That's
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yep.
But we
Yep.
don't want to stay jealous, so then we're mad, and then we want to
Yep.
go and every time we're gonna make a post. All these niggas ain't real. All these niggas cheat.
I hate it. Can't
You
stand it.
jealous. Like now you done been so jealous, don't want to call it jealous and deal with it. Now you mad. Now you making
Yep.
posts
Yep.
generalizing all men. You know what I mean?
General. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Uh, thank you, Tiara. I'm glad that we can help. But yeah, so we're going to be ending again, guys. If you want to be a guest on here, I know Tiara. She said I miss conquering relationships. I have not been on live. It's my fault. I'm so busy though. I'm a what is it, one band man, whatever y'all say.
Yeah.
I'm only one me in this brand, so I'm trying to think of all kind of things to
Yeah.
do and incorporate, and it's really draining. I've been praying for a team because it's draining, but I love it because it's my purpose,
Yeah.
especially for the Black community, because I want to get us healed,
Yep.
healthy, whole, and ready to conquer our friendships, intimate relationships, family
Yep.
ships, parenthood,
Yep.
whatever. I
Yep.
just want us healthy because especially as Black people, and if we got any other race on here, this ain't no disrespect to you, but because of the color of my skin, I gotta root for us. And we got so much power in us,
Yes.
especially if we can build our family back together, the Black
Yep.
family,
Yep.
man, y'all don't know how much power we will be.
Yep.
I don't know how much power we could be, even with the thoughts, the gifts that we have with building businesses and brands. But
Yes.
we can't get that far because we still got men and women. We battling against each other within the Black community.
Exactly.
So that's why I'm here. I'm here to
And,
help.
and what you said, that word you said, battling against each other, but that
Yep.
word community is everything. And
Yep.
when we look back to our past leaders like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, they built community. And
Yeah.
because they built community, this is why their movements were so much more stronger, and why they went so far even today. They are
Yeah.
going so far because they built community. They had one purpose, and when they did that and got everybody to be on one accord, we were able to go far. So you can go alone, but you won't get far going alone. You can go fast alone, but you won't
Yep.
go far alone.
Yeah.
So
I like that you said that because too, and I just said like I'm doing all this by myself. I am, and I'm doing it by myself because, and I found Germany, but she has her own brand, so I know I can't pull on her too much. But I'm doing it by myself because I'm trying to find my tribe of people who is okay with accountability. I'm trying to
yeah,
find my tribe of women, especially. I'm good with the guys. It's just I be butting heads with women a lot, but
you're
I'm
you're a man
trying
advocate.
to find. I'm trying to find my tribe of women that we can get together, really have real talk conversations, really help each other, really empower each other. Not this, and this ain't no shade to. I ain't even been seeing no women's empowerment stuff lately for real. But I've been seeing boss stuff, but I ain't been really seeing women's empowerment, like mental, emotionally, spiritually.
Yeah.
But we really got to get each other together because women, when I say your femininity is your power, you have no idea how much your femininity is. It's the power. Like I ain't saying it's better than masculinity, but I'm telling you, we
We have
tighten in
femininity
our
for a
femininity.
reason. Yes.
Yes, yes, and we gonna rule. Sorry, fellas, we gonna rule that relationship when we walking in our femininity. But a lot of us not there. We masculine.
Behind every strong man is a strong woman.
Hey, say that. No, for real though. We are the neck. We are the backbone for them, and that's not a bad thing. Just think about it. The man is the head with the neck with the backbone. Do you know that big old head, and we holding that up? I'm telling y'all, we don't need know our power, but hopefully, hopefully through my brand, we gonna
Yes.
be able to get some stuff together. But I'm looking for like-minded women that want to do events. Like I say, speak on the panels, just do some more things to speak out, so a lot of us can get into our power that we should be getting into.
Yeah.
I also want to say too, I made a post, and this is no disrespect to anybody. I know some people kind of felt disrespected by it, but you got to know what type of speaker I am. You got to know what type of life coach I am and what type of person I am. When I say I don't do the king and queen, I don't call, everybody king and queen, because people are not in that ownership. I get the idea of speaking life into people, but I'm here to get the dirty parts. I'm
Yeah.
here. I got to get you self-aware first to know who you are, because everybody's not meant to be a king or a queen either. Look at that chessboard. Everybody got to play their part.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's no disrespect to anybody, but that's why I feel like we're not who we're supposed to be, and we're not where we're supposed to be, because we're looking at this part. I'm finna be here, I'm finna be there, but you ain't even, you trying to
Playing
get the
your
Z.
part.
Yeah, you trying to get the Z, and you ain't even did A. You ain't even did B. So
That's true.
um
It's levels
let
to
me
this.
put this. We're going to leave. We're going to exit out. I'm going to put this comment on the board, guys. Make sure, again, both of our platform links is in the caption.
Yeah.
If you want to book a life coaching session, I do relationship coaching as well. Book me for a session, so we can see if we, are compatible with each other as it goes to doing life together and getting you healed, healthy, and whole.
Yeah.
So she said, when you walk in your femininity and harness it, we bring balance. I swear to God, we bring
Come
so much
on.
balance.
Mm-hmm.
We too
Yep.
busy walking in masculinity. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So we ending. Y'all share this live. Jer'Maine, before we end, do you have anything, last words of wisdom that you want to give to the people?
Last words of wisdom. Just know that when we are doing things like this, when we are speaking out like this, we are always doing this to encourage, to build, to uplift. And I want to say, as far as the youth, when we are better as a community, we are leaders, and you are a leader whether you know it or not, to all of the children that are around. And if we could, be better and master ourselves, we could do that for these children, and then they can grow up and they can be better people and communicate better. We don't want to pass on more generational curses. We don't want to pass on more hurt and trauma. So let's just try to do our best when it comes to being self-aware, being held accountable, because just like you're going to hold your kid, your son, nephew, whoever accountable,
Yeah.
by putting them on punishment or giving them a whooping or putting them in a corner, whatever you choose to do as your, your punishment for them, remember that you have to do the same thing for yourself. You would need to do the same thing for yourself. So don't choose to do that for your child or for children, and then don't do it for yourself, because
Yep.
we are definitely the leaders. We are influence, and they're watching everything we do. So that's all I have.
All right, y'all. We will see y'all on the next. I don't know what the next episode gonna be. I'm so random, y'all. But
One of them.
turn, turn the notifications on for my business page, for this page. I promise I won't blow y'all up. Y'all know that already. I barely go live, but turn the notifications on. That way, when I do go live, you guys can tune in. If you guys are free, and let's get some more of these talks going. Jer'Maine, I will see you on Facebook and in the future, because we got a
Okay.
relationship event we got planned for planning. We're planning for you guys.